Hey guys, good to be here for this week's dev update. On the session side, we have done a few releases this week and last week. So the Android performance release is out to everyone now, fixing a lot of crashes, so our crash rate's quite down. Looking into some ANR issues right now, which is app not responding issues, because they've picked up a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to get those down again. On iOS, we also released some patches for push notifications. So specifically, we found that devices weren't automatically re-registering for push notification tokens. And if on the server side, your push notification token was deleted, you wouldn't re-register for it. So that was causing some issues in iOS push notifications. Just in general, we've been looking into push notifications a bit more over the last couple of weeks. And that's primarily because some of the work on libsession, which is required for configuration messages, has mainly been in like the design phase and has been, or design and implementation phase, which has been blocking some of the session devs, which has meant that some of the session devs have been able to come across and work on more kind of bug breather tasks, stuff like push notifications, improving the reliability there. Or other quality of life issues as well. So lots of fixes going into Android, lots of fixes going into iOS over the last few weeks, which you may have noticed we've been pushing out. So hopefully all of the apps are getting a little bit better right now before we push out major feature releases. But yeah, configuration messages, especially on Android and desktop, are going well. They haven't been blocked yet by the most recent work in the library. And iOS is working on some bug breather tasks right now, primarily. And that both the configuration message task needs to happen before our disappearing message task as well. So that'll probably be one of the next things that we work on. But that's progressing nicely on desktop as well, where it's not blocked right now. So yeah, lots of things going on in session. Not the usual kind of like just 3 tasks we're working on. A few kind of different things happening this week. On Oxen, really happy to say that we solved one of the longest standing issues that we had with the Ledger hardware wallet, which was the fact that we couldn't really effectively debug what was going on. And we got in contact with the Ledger developer and they were able to provide some help. There was some undocumented code essentially that one line fix that we essentially implemented, and now everything seems to be working well on the Nano S Plus, I think it is, or X Plus. I always forget all the different letters with the Ledger. But things seem to be going well there now, and Sean is also working on ONS implementation for Wallet 3. So right now just working on name registration. And he'll be, adding in all of the function, or slowly adding in a lot of the functionality that we have in the existing wallet into Wallet 3. On LokiNet, basically continuing to work on that internal code refactor, which is hoping to make the code base a lot easier to approach for new people, and also to take out code that we wrote over probably 3 years ago, which has gotten quite out of date and may have changed with the designs, or may just not be very well documented or incorrectly implemented. We're looking through all of that stuff right now when we're refactoring. And also still onboarding Dan, the newest team member, into liblokinet, which seems to be going well. We have made some changes and we're kind of just to the point where we're about to test talking directly to .snode addresses, which is a little bit different from talking to .loki, and we're taking into account some of the specific changes that need to be made there. That should just about round us up for the development side of things. Very excited for all of these changes going into session recently, and LokiNet work on liblokinet really picking up. So hoping to see integration work on different platforms move forward. And yes, the core stuff that I talked about before, very cool. The Ledger stuff, we're finally making a bit more progress on. Thanks guys. I'll chuck it over to Josh.
Hello everybody, welcome to another Marketing Labs update. This time coming at you via my webcam from my house. So, essentially last week was just all hands on deck for the Oxen roadmap. It was just all systems go. It was roadmap city. The roadmap project required like a whole bunch of coordination, not only from the marketing team, but just from the entire team completely, like marketing, devs, operations, everyone. Because we needed to get graphics out, there needed to be a blog, we needed to get a video, we needed to get messages out across all the socials. We basically wanted it to, well, we wanted to give you as much as possible, when it comes to the roadmap. And that was just on the marketing side of things. Obviously, the way that we decided to present it this time was in a progress tree. So historically, we haven't done it in the past, but the reason we decided to do it this way was not only could we look forward to all of the things that we're going to achieve, this year, but it also gave us a good look at how far we've come and what we've achieved. And that's going to be really good for like new and potential investors of Oxen to just see the work that's been done here already. So because we went the progress tree route, we had to change up the website to accommodate for that. So there was all of these pieces coming together to try get it in a timely manner. And it's not completely done. Like there's still some little tweaks here and there that we want to do to it over the coming, weeks. But they're tiny details, and we didn't want to have to, you guys to wait for the little implementation details to come through. So that it'll still be fixed up a little bit. But for the most part, you've got everything. So that was basically the main thing that we focused on, just like getting everything ready, getting it all packaged nicely for you guys to see. But we did do some other things as well. So the other things was we've been working on grant applications for the OPTF. And this is just because historically, like the foundation, we've been doing a good job of making relationships with people, but it's still not seen as prominently as like the EFF and other organizations, especially in like the north of the equator. But we've been getting really good, with the Iran stuff and with the relationships we've been building, we've actually been making really good inroads. And so we've had, connections to some grant applications that we've been working on. And the main thing is just building the relationships with these people. So we get more known in the space and we just get into those circles a little bit more. So that's something that we've been working on. Also, we had the mandatory service node upgrade period ending last week. So there was just like a bunch of stuff we had to sort out, for that to end up, a bunch of messages we had to do to just make sure as many people, don't get decommissioned and the whole thing just goes as smoothly as possible. So we did that. We finalized the details and announced that we're going to Monerotopia. So we're going to be speaking there. There's going to be a bunch of talks. Hopefully we can get Oxen just out there as much as possible at Monerotopia because I mean, the people going there, specifically, that's Oxen's target audience. They're people who are interested in privacy crypto. So we want to just get ourselves out there as much as possible. So that's something that we've been working on for a little while, getting the details all sorted, and that's done now. So we're definitely doing that. Rob Braxman also gave a nice little shout out to LokiNet in one of his recent videos, and that's also coming off the back of a shout out he did in another recent video for Sessions. So there's like a beautiful little relationship building there with us and Rob, it seems. We've also been working on beautifying the annual reviews for the OPTF website, so they'll go up soon. And finally, it looks like the session white paper is basically done. It looks like they're just going over, like it seems like it's been done and we're just going over like a final review just to make sure it's all good before we release. But yeah, that was everything that happened last week. I know you saw a bunch of it, like the roadmap is probably the majority of what you saw. But if you haven't seen it, then I'm sure there's going to be links in the blog and in the description to go check it out. But that's it for last week. I'll see you guys next time.